All right, so you guys wanted to take a deep dive into AI and what it all means, right? Now, think about this. There's AI out there writing poetry that some critics are saying is as good as Shakespeare.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So let's get into it.
Okay, so I think the best place to start is with a little bit of background.
Yeah, for sure.
Because even though this AI poetry thing seems super futuristic, like something straight out of a movie,
Yeah.
the idea's actually been around for a while. The term artificial intelligence was first used back in the mid-20th century,
Wow.
like 1950s. So no robot taking over overnight. It's been more of a gradual evolution.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do we get from this like initial idea of AI to poetry writing AI?
Well, there was a period in the 50s and 60s called the AI summer, where there was a ton of excitement and optimism around AI, but the technology just wasn't there yet.
Right.
But things have changed. Now we have these super powerful computers, tons of data, all the right ingredients for like a real AI revolution just kind of fell into place.
Revolution, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's really changing everything.
So, okay, let's talk about that. You specifically wanted to know how AI is impacting our world right now, the good, the bad, everything.
Sure.
So where do we even begin?
Well, I think one of the most significant areas where we're seeing AI make a positive impact is in efficiency.
Okay, how so?
Industries from
Influence.
healthcare to transportation are being totally transformed by AI.
Give me an example.
For example, AI is being used to analyze medical images, like X-rays, to catch tiny details that might be missed by the human eye. And this leads to quicker and more accurate diagnoses, which is obviously a huge win for patients.
Yeah, no kidding. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it makes you wonder how we ever lived without it.
Exactly.
Right.
But it's not all, sunshine and rainbows, right? Like any powerful technology, AI has its downsides too.
Right, like what?
One of the biggest concerns is the potential for job displacement.
Yeah, that came up a lot in what you guys wanted to talk about.
Yeah, and it's a valid concern. As AI gets better at doing things that humans used to do, some jobs will inevitably become automated. Repetitive tasks, data entry, even things like driving, as self-driving technology gets better. But it's not all doom and gloom on the job front either.
Okay, good.
This shift towards automation is also creating new job opportunities.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Think about it. We're going to need people who can design these AI systems, people who can implement them, and people who can manage them. It's like in the early days of the internet, no one could have predicted all the new jobs that would be created around this one technology.
Yeah.
Website developers, social media managers, these jobs didn't even exist before. So while some jobs may disappear, new ones will emerge. That's kind of how it's always been with technology.
That's a really good point. So it's not really about AI taking our jobs. It's more like AI is changing what types of jobs are out there.
Precisely.
Okay, I like that. But I have to ask, what about the impact on, well, us? I mean, will AI make us lazier?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a question that comes up a lot.
Right. If we have AI writing our poetry, composing music, even driving us around, what does that leave for us to do?
It's a valid question. Are we as a society becoming too reliant on technology? Are we losing some of our own skills and abilities because we're outsourcing them to algorithms? It's definitely something to think about.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Humans have always been tool users. From the wheel to the printing press to the calculator, we've always looked for ways to make our lives easier and more efficient. AI is just the latest tool in a long line of tools.
So you're saying that it's not really laziness, but adaptation?
Right, like every time a new technology comes along, we find new ways to use our uniquely human skills alongside it.
I like that.
But
Right.
of course, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And that leads us to some even bigger questions about AI. Like, are we ready for AI to completely reshape our society? And what are the ethical implications of all of this?
Speaking of ethical implications, you guys brought up some really interesting points about AI's potential to be, I don't know, maybe even dangerous.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what happens when AI gets so good at impersonating humans that we can't tell the difference?
That's one of the big ones.
And if AI can write a beautiful sonnet, could it also write a fake news article that's so convincing that it influences an election? Or what about AI being used to manipulate people or even harm them?
Those are really important concerns.
Right. Like, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of all this new technology, but we have to be aware of the potential risks too.
I agree. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations now before it's too late. If we don't set boundaries, if we don't define ethical guidelines for AI development and use, who's to say where it will end?
I know, it can feel kind of overwhelming, right?
It can. But remember, the first step is awareness. We need to educate ourselves about AI, we need to engage in these tough conversations, and we need to demand transparency from the people and companies who are developing these technologies.
It all circles back to us, right?
Yeah.
We're the ones who are going to be using AI, interacting with it, and maybe even trusting it with important decisions.
You've got it. And that's why this conversation is so crucial. We need to be informed, we need to think critically about AI, and we need to keep asking the tough questions. AI isn't just something out of science fiction anymore, it's here. It's now.
And on that note, you've heard us talk about it, so keep those deep dive requests coming.
Absolutely.
The more we learn about AI, the better prepared we'll be to navigate this exciting, but also potentially challenging future.
Well said.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next time.